our official sticker collection from the 2017-2018 season in the Bundesliga. This was manufactured by Topps. It's a welcome message from Lothar Matthäus and an offer to get stickers at Aldi in Germany. I don't know if it's Aldi Süd or it's Aldi Süd. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was Aldi Nord or Aldi Süd. The split of the Aldi, the dispute between the two brothers over selling alcohol and cigarettes is why there is an Aldi South and an Aldi North. Here's the welcome message from Lothar Matthäus. Our first team is Augsburg. See if there's anyone particularly significant on this Augsburg side. Next side is Hertha Berlin. This is the year before their relegation, or seasons before their relegation. Here's Selke, Solomon Kalou. Who else do we have here that's significant? You know, Plundhart is there. I should go back to Augsburg for a minute. Philippe Max, Rani Khedira, of course, the brother of the decorated Sami Khedira, German international, World Cup winner. We just went through Hertha. Here's Werder Bremen. These were confusing years for Werder Bremen. Max Kruse, Thomas Delaney, of course, who also played for Dortmund. Significant player for the national team of Denmark. Semi-finalists at the Euros in 2020, excuse me. Here's Borussia Dortmund, who started this season on fire under Peter Bosch and eventually fell way off and barely made Champions League after he was sacked. Here's Christian Pulisic, a young Christian Pulisic, one of the greatest American players ever. Marco Reus, for me, the elite player on this squad, the elite player potentially in German football that never played for Bayern Munich. Aubameyang, obviously great player. Kagawa, his second stint at Dortmund. Goetze, this is Goetze's second stint at Dortmund. Once called Judas by the Dortmund fans, but he returned. Socrates, Weigl, Dahoud, really good team. Roman Bürki was her keeper. Here's Eintracht. This was the Eintracht team under Niko Kovac that won the Pokal that year. Timmy Chandler, American international. Gelson Fernandez, player that I enjoyed when he was at Manchester City under Sven-Göran Eriksson. Kevin Prince Boateng, very well-known player. Also hurt, knocked Michael Ballack out of the 2010 World Cup. Jetro Williams, a Dutch international, started in the World Cup for the Netherlands. Sebastian Haller, great player. Of course, suffered from cancer later. Hasebe, what can you say about him? Just one of the greatest. I noticed they've got his picture here as well, next to Niko Kovac's. Radicki, who of course would later win a Bundesliga title with Leverkusen. De Guzman, the Canadian-born Dutch international. Great Eintracht side. Freiburg, this is when Freiburg's beginning to make their move up the table and become a contender for European places. Really solid side. Hamburg, the year they were relegated, they have just gotten back into the Bundesliga this past season. This is a sad time for Hamburg. Bobby Wood, the American international. Andre Hahn, a player I liked, never really panned out the way I thought he would. Hanover, the home of the great American Steve Cherundolo, one of the best American players ever. This is a Hanover side that struggled. Brent Ryder, who is Brent Leader, who's one of my favorite managers, was their manager. Here's a very young Julian Nagelsmann managing Hoffenheim. Sandra Wagner. Gnabry on loan from, I believe on loan from Arsenal at the time, not on loan from, maybe he was at Bayern. Kramaric, who had not been a great player over at Leicester, but ended up being a fantastic player for Hoffenheim. And then, of course, Karim Demirby. Cologne, under Peter Stoger, who then ended up finishing the season managing Borussia Dortmund and guiding them to fourth when it looked like they would fall out of the Champions League places. Leipzig, under Ralf Hasenhüttl, great manager. Manager I'd like to see manage again. I think he did a great job with both Leipzig and, of course, in the Premier League with a Southampton team that punched above their weight while he was there. Sabitzer, I think Kimmich was gone by there. Timo Werner, Poulsen, Forsberg, like all of the familiar players. See Kevin Campbell here, one of my favorite players. I don't see him. Bruma, Naby Keita. Oh, here's Kevin Campbell. Upamecano, what a team. Galashi. Willi Orban. Orban is another mainstay like Campbell and Forsberg and Poulsen. Orban, just very chronically underrated player. What a team this team was. Here's an ad for Topps trading cards. Leverkusen, Julian Brandt, which is a player that Jurgen Klopp wanted to bring to Liverpool. I had the pleasure of interviewing him in 2015 when he was a young player at Leverkusen. This was right before his move to Dortmund. Sven Bender, Leno, before Leno moved to Arsenal. Julian Brandt, as we mentioned just a minute ago. Alario. And how about this one? 18-year-old Kaya Havertz. Bellarby, Lars Bender, Heinrichs. Yeah, the Leverkusen team was pretty loaded too. Mainz. Rene Adler, who was, I think would have been Germany's number one if it wasn't for Manuel Neuer in that period. Here's Mönchengladbach, Christoph Kramer, who of course had a concussion in the 2014 World Cup final. Lars Stindl, Fabian Johnson, probably the best American player at that moment. Zakaria, Vestergaard, who, speaking of Hasenhüttl, played for Hasenhüttl at Southampton. Thorgan Hazard, the brother of Eden Hazard. Jan Sommer, one of the best goalkeepers for me in the world at the time. Speaking of great goalkeepers, Manuel Neuer, we're on to Bayern. Obviously, this entire Bayern team is star-studded. Müller, Robben, Ribéry, Lewandowski, Kimmich, Boateng. This is Hummels when he was there. Thiago Alcantara. James Rodriguez. I almost forgot he played for Bayern. Arturo Vidal. Alaba. Here's Schalke, who finished second in the league that year. Young Dominique Tedesco, now managing Belgium into the World Cup. De Santo. Young Breel Umbello, who's become such an important part of the national team for Switzerland. Here's Leon Goretzka. Stuttgart, under Hannes Wolf. Wolfsburg, some significant players on this Wolfsburg team. I believe Max Arnold, John Brooks, the American international. He got injured, and that's why one of the reasons the U.S. missed the World Cup in 2018. Maybe one of the biggest reasons. Castells, Bruma, Kuba, who was just we remember him as a great player at Dortmund. In fact, let me zoom in on this. With Kuba, you see that he has a 2 next to him. The others don't have that. Those are the 2 titles he won with Dortmund. Mario Gomez, 3 next to him because he won 3 titles at Bayern. Here is a little thing on the league. Now Bundesliga 2. This I love. Let's go through the clubs. Here, Union Berlin, Arminia Bielefeld, Darmstadt, Bochum. You don't get this in the Premier League album because they treat the championship like it's some foreign league. Ingolstadt, Fortuna Dusseldorf, Dynamo Dresden, Günther Forth, which is where Julian Green was at the time. Julian Green. Holstein Kiel, who had a pretty good team there. Andrew Wooten, the American, was at Sandhausen, St. Pauli. And that's our look at this album.